All right. Are you guys ready to go? Woo. Does anybody have 5 minutes? You can get some fame. Welcome to the NMC 5 Minutes of Fame, the action-packed presentation session. I've always thought we could compress a conference down to about half a day and spend the rest of the day on the beach if we all did 5-minute presentations and 3-minute keynotes and 10-second bathroom breaks. But for the next hour, you're going to see a fast-paced action series of presentations. We have about 10 presenters, and they're going to each have 5 minutes to show you something and wow you. If they're not done in 5 minutes, we have our designated gonger with his timepiece. John, give us a sample what will happen. All right. And they have to stop presenting mid-sentence, mid-PowerPoint, mid-flash, whatever they're doing. Are you ready? All right. So first up, we're going to have Bronwyn Stuckey, who works for IUPUI, but somehow manages to do this from Sydney, Australia. Interesting formula. Bronwyn's going to tell us about how social media mashups and other online professional development tools have been able to bring a community together using Quest Atlantis. So Bronwyn will be talking to us about building community out of online professional development. Take it away, Bronwyn. Your 5 minutes has started.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about Quest Atlantis, a program developed by Indiana University's Center for Research and Learning Technology, and the teacher community of practice that we're developing around use of that program in elementary and middle schools around the world. So that gives you a little idea about Quest Atlantis, and a video is going to launch now which will give you some of the rich narrative involved.
You may have heard of the legendary Atlantis, the island paradise that sank beneath the sea. For me, your legend is more than just a story. In a distant solar system, much like your own, is the planet of Atlantis. Thousands of years ago, a portal appeared between our planet and yours. Through this portal, my ancestors visited yours and shared our knowledge and cultures. An unknown group on Atlantis did not want us to continue meeting, so they shattered the portal and destroyed the outpost. We believe that led to your legend. Here on the planet Atlantis, I stand at the ruins of our portal to Earth. I am Alam, a citizen of Atlantis.
That gives you a little taste of the rich backstory and the narrative involved in Quest Atlantis. It is a virtual world environment, but has a game structure inside it and curriculum delivery. And so I'm just going to quickly give you a little taste of what that looks like. And hopefully some of the students that were in here earlier will still be wandering around. And as luck would have it, they've all gone off to do something. But it is Saturday morning in Australia, so the Australian and New Zealand students who were in here earlier may have all gone to do something out of doors. It gives you a little taste of what the environment looks like. It doesn't look like Second Life. It is quite different. It's built on the Active Worlds platform and involves a lot of curriculum material, approaching 600 quests and around 100 different missions that children accomplish as part of the game structure of Quest Atlantis. So, the design of Quest Atlantis is based on a point at which entertainment, education and social commitments meet. So it's a values-based program with a very strong curriculum attached to it for elementary and middle school in most of the disciplines, and a game structure. So it's built on the best of what we call learning, playing and helping. And is the reason that it gets on the radar of a lot of schools, because it is a highly protected program where children are safe, but uses the best of the current knowledge on gaming, virtual worlds, and online curriculum. It's a very rich program that involves teachers coming into the program through professional development. So you can't just sign up and go into Quest Atlantis. You have to do training. And all around the world, teachers either in face-to-face programs or in online training are schooled in not just using the technology, but in the pedagogy that we use, an inquiry learning pedagogy, and the ideas of embodied cognition that underlie Quest Atlantis. So it's very important that, because it's a research space, that people use it with some level of fidelity in their classrooms. And that's, we cover a lot of content in those workshops. The teacher professional development is carried out both through a facilitated program and through missions designed for the teachers in the world. So they're actually engaging in the sense of play right from the start. But beyond that workshop, we have other activities that the teachers engage in world, but also we meet them in the places that they already are inhabiting in the external world. And so we have a mashup of events, activities, and sources across these different technologies. And so for some of those teachers, it's new. For others, they already live there. And we employ all of those tools to develop our sense of community. If you're interested in finding out about Quest Atlantis, there's my details, and I'd be very happy to talk to you. And if you would like an account, I have opened a workshop for the NMC Summer Conference, and those are the details if you would like to get an account and come in and get in touch with your sense of play. Thank you.
Thank you, Bronwyn. She was just under 5 minutes. John was reaching for the gong. I was really hoping to have another sentence to say, Bronwyn. That was magnificent. Who wants to go to Atlantis? All right. Now, on stage left, or is it right? I can't get them straight in my mind. Jackie Gerstein from ISTE is going to tell us how she's been working with kids, creating media for kids, with kids. And Jackie loves kids. You're going to find that out.
I do love kids.
Okay, you ready for your 5 minutes?
No, because it went ahead. I
Okay.
am now.
Go.
All right, ready? TED Talk on steroids. I love it. Okay, creative web tools formed by kids. It's meant for elementary kids, but I teach college kids too, and all these kids are going to end up at your colleges one day. So I'm Jackie Gerstein, Jackie Rexon in Second Life. Hello, Second Life. And I don't do teaching for a living. I live teaching as my doing, is my motto. And let the kids tell you about why this program exists.
Hello, teachers. Technology and hands-on is our future. It's lots of fun and memorable.
Their
better than
script, their scripts,
textbooks.
not mine.
Will you let us use technology? Well, will you?
Their script.
Great!
So, as their teacher, I'm their tour guide of learning possibilities. I show them what's out there, and then I get out of the way so they can learn. That way they take on the role of stewardship of their own learning experiences. Since it's their project, they're going to introduce themselves to you.
Hey, this is Carly. Welcome to my wiki page on Creative Web Tools. You may not realize it, but learning about the government can be very fun and interesting.
10 years old.
I created this page so you can enjoy learning with interactive activities and more. So look around and have fun. Hi, this is Ryan, and you are on my web page about extreme animals. Hi, this is Lexi doing the Quest Atlantis project.
Buggies.
Hi, my name is Allie, and I'm a cat. Welcome to Wee Web Wonders. This is the project I'm doing. It's about domestic cats, so have fun exploring.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm 10 years old in 5th grade, and I'm doing the cooking project.
Hey, it's
Cooking.
Gianna, and welcome to my musical and singing page. Here you learn how to become more musical and how to become a singing star. You will also see famous people in history and from today, like singers and musicians such as Elvis Presley, Alicia Keys, Madonna, and maybe even Billy Ray Cyrus.
And Billy Ray
Thanks, and enjoy
Cyrus,
what you
yeah.
see. Bye.
So what they do is they pick their topics. I give them a wiki page. And because the first thing they want to do is create their own identities. So I allow them to create and help facilitate the process of them creating a sense of identity. These are some of the tools. Again, they get to choose tools that fit their learning styles and learning needs. Avatar Maker, DoppelMe, that's the M&M Avatar Maker. They made mobiling slideshows. And so their wiki page started with a little bit about themselves, with keeping a sense of online and anonymity. Wordles, I love Wordles. You've heard of Wordles before? They rock. All right, learning goals then are established by the students themselves. Then they find links to support. They go out and look for links to support their topic. They have to go through the website investigator tool to analyze media literacy. Is this tool going to work for other kids who are going to visit their site? It's kids to kids. So they have the picture, the name of the site, URL, a description, and then they write down what their website investigator tool rating was. Then they use all the tools we use are free. They get a choice of the Web 2.0 tools. And then they show us what they've learned. This is Image Chef. Raise your hand if you've used these tools. Image Chef. Love it. Pictures, drawing tools like Tux Paint and Doink. Anybody use those? They're really cool tools. Wordles, again, vocabulary. Look at that for photography. Love that builds in their vocab for their topic area, global warming. Extreme animals, government. Newspaper generator. They wrote articles that generated newspaper. Animatos, which I'm showing you now. Used Animatos before. They like the Animatos. Piclics. Love it. Pictures and poetry. Piclics. You've heard of Piclics? Pretty cool, isn't it? And then TikTok books. Favorite. They get to do online books with images. Paul McCartney and Dippity Timelines. This one's Extreme Animals, Extinct. They love tests. Ones that they create. The ones that they could create and give to other kids. This is My Studio. Have you heard of My Studio? They love making the quizzes. They make the quizzes and then they go on each other's pages and take the quizzes. Unforeseen outcomes. Audience, we've had 10,000 hits. They love the audience. And Global Connection, we had a country from Turkey join the project. The country of Turkey joined our project. Basically, for me, the bottom line is to keep the sense of wonder for the child. I'm trying to time this exactly for the gong. These are my kids. They rock.
The end.
Yeah, right at the gong.
All right. I was worried everybody's going to come in under the gong. Thank you, Jackie. And I saw everybody scribbling down those tools that you were rattling off. Great stuff. Next up, Virginia Kuhn from USC is going to tell us about using film as a central course text, and more than that, students using video as a means of communicating what they're learning. And she's going to be talking about documentary is the new black, not blue, filmic textbooks in the 21st century classroom. Virginia is a repeat 5 minutes of fame offender.
Yes.
And
And this time, I think I have a foolproof way to get gonged, but still need what
I think
have
your
to
5
say.
minutes starts, so
right.
you should probably start talking, Virginia.
Okay, so I'm at USC, so we're right near Disneyland, so perhaps you'll come and see us next year. And I'm actually the Associate Director of the Institute for Multimedia Literacy. And we enroll students from across all undergraduate majors. And we had this problem in rehearsal too, and we're still not solving it. Just one sec. So we have students who are not cinema students, even though we're located in the School of Cinematic Arts. And our students take classes with us throughout their 4 years, and this culminates in a thesis project in their final year. So they do a multimedia thesis project. It could be in biology, it could be in psychology, it could be in anything. And the first group of students, the inaugural cohort, actually did their thesis projects last year, and I directed many of those projects. One thing that the students told me is they really needed a hand figuring out how to launch and deploy a large-scale multimodal thesis project. These projects last over a year. They needed some facility with the tools, but also in planning and carrying out a large-scale research project. So with their input, I created a course called IML 340, The Praxis of New Media. And my idea was that they could they could do a small project of this type, and it would either become a seed for their larger thesis project that they would expand, or it would at the very least, give them a model for how to kind of create this project. Now, at the same time, at the IML, we're very lucky to have a lot of production staff. So we had this project ongoing that was called Iraqi Doctors on the Front Lines of Medicine. This is an in-house documentary that we did that charts the process of a medical exchange we did between doctors in Baghdad and doctors at the Keck School of Medicine at USC. It was done in 2003. We brought the doctors in, we sent doctors there, and then the White House got wind of it, and they flew everyone to the White House to meet with George Bush and with William Frist. The end of our documentary, it's about 30 minutes, the end of it had one of the doctors from Baghdad. It's on the eve of Saddam's capture, and we have one of the doctors, his father had been killed by Saddam, and so he says, things are going to get better in my country, if not immediately, in 5 years. Well, it was 2008, and things had definitely changed. So we were looking for a way to sort of finish this documentary, and also I was at the same time launching this class, and so we conceived of IML 340, the Praxis of New Media, the Iraqi Doctors Project. And again, the film is called Iraqi Doctors on the Front Lines of Medicine. So I got DJ Johnson, who is our video production, and I got a grant, and he helped me, and we gave students access to not only all of the original footage from the documentary, but to the 40-plus hours of B-roll that we had. They used that as a springboard, and then they did research according to some area of their disciplinary or other interests. So global economics, healthcare, diplomacy, that kind of thing. So we taught it last year, both semesters, and we really can't even look at the original project without seeing all these satellite projects around it. This website will be launched. We're working on getting it together right now and over the summer, and it will have the original video and then all of the student projects along with it, and we'll do a special screening with many of the doctors from Baghdad, and looking in, all of whom have fled. That will be done this year on 9/11. However, in the process of doing this project, I really began to see, I thought this was really limited in use, and I began to see that this has implications for large-scale public literacy. In 1978, Jerry Mander, in the really seminal book, Four Arguments for the Elimination of Television, talked about the superiority of books over film, since books have that infinite patience. Every time you go back to them, they say the same thing. TV at the time and film was really ephemeral. You couldn't, it went by in an instant. You couldn't go back. You couldn't check it. And so we... I would say with emergent technologies these days, we have the capacity to go back and to look and to stop. But reading isn't enough. We have to do more than that. In 1968, the first documentary, or one of the first cinema verite documentaries, was launched, and no one could read it. The Board of Education of Philadelphia thought that it was complimentary until someone explained it to them. But that was 68. We're all so sophisticated now, right? Last spring, Eric Faden, Brave New Films. I know we're running out, but then from now on, Brave New Films is wanting to launch this with us. Thank you.
Nice
I took the pressure off.
You did. Thank you. Don't you want to do this next year? I hope so. Does anybody here speak Mayan? Okay, good. You will, okay. Next up, Marie Cariana and Derek Toten from Tulane University are going to talk about a project where they went to Guatemala to record some real language sounds and wrapped it into a multimedia project. So here's my Mayan on Good Bien Uts, Mayan language learning from Guatemala to Tulane.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Marie.
And this is a project that started with the Department of Education, a National Research Center grant. It was acquired by the Stone Center at Tulane. They brought it in, and they brought us in from the Innovative Learning Center to actually work on the application. The grants were awarded in 2003-2005 to promote the study of less commonly taught languages. In this case, Cachical Maya, which is spoken in the Guatemalan Highlands and the Lake Atitlan region. One of 17 languages actually spoken in that area. It's based on, the project we did is based on a language course that is taught through Tulane. It's been taught for many years by Judy Maxwell. They spend 6 weeks with graduate students in Guatemala, immersed in the culture and the language. So we took that course and decided to actually use that as the basis for the application. Decided to turn it into a self-paced, Flash-based language application. We wanted to produce it in Guatemala with Cachical native speakers and design it so that instruction could be done in both Spanish and English.
All right, and the application is in a CD-ROM form, which is also and an online form, the CD-ROM form for users without internet connection. We're going to look at the online form. Wish us luck. I'm going to show you here that the initial screen that you see is a circle with 4 quadrants in it. That's a Mayan glyph symbol, which is called the anil. Not very well said, but anyway, its symbol is based on the seed, the source, the beginning. Each one of these quadrants is going to represent one of our units. We've finished 2 so far. Within each unit, you'll see that there are also 4 quadrants, and those are the 4 topics contained in the unit. Unit 1 had greetings, food, numbers, colors, and clothing, and Unit 2, which we've just completed, has the family, parts of the body, professions, and activities. Within each topic, students initially see just the dialogue side of the screen until they have completed all of the dialogues, in which case the exercises will come up. I'm just going to lower the volume here on this very first item so that you can see the interface. In the preferences, I can actually change the entire interface to Spanish, and back here you can see everything is now in Spanish or in English, and the captions, which are only in Cachiquel, can either be turned on or off. All right, you can hear one of these small segments right now. What are you doing? I'm laughing. You're laughing? I'm laughing. I like the fact that the other one started actually laughing. We took that once, only one shot for that very, very video segment. All right, once they've heard some of the dialogues, they've gone through all the dialogues, then they start the exercise section. The exercise section includes some very basic language learning exercises. And they have to be able to pick which one means, what does rin yitzak mean? And if you get it right, I actually got it right. If you get it wrong, rin yipiyin. Oh, okay, well, you won't see it till you get it wrong till you try it yourself. All right, the other one is, this one only actually works if you have an internet connection. And the CD-ROM, this exercise does not even show up. And that is, it's in Flash Media Server is the back end. The student can click and listen and compare their own utterances, which are recorded right on the spot, and then they are played back. Rin, jiwa. Rin, jiwa. Rin, jiwa. Rin, jiwa. All right, that's not too bad for the first try. But anyway, so that's as far as I can show you, but there's lots of different types of exercises online. We're going to move back over to Derek.
So the production itself happened over summer trips to Guatemala. We've done 5 trips in total, and we do these during the summer. And we come back to do post-production and do application design during the spring and fall back in New Orleans. 4 modules total, as we talked about. The whole thing we expect to be completed by 2011. We have a crew of 4 people, 2 pedagogists. This is one, fluent in Spanish. They work with the teachers and plan the scripts, and 2 videographers. I'm one of those who also do all the production work. We use work with the local folks. We do a lot of work with the. We use high-def cameras, 2 cameras, lots of lights, microphones. It's a full big production here that we're going to race through, and. Very careful with the audio since that's kind of the main part of the whole thing, and. A lot of work, and
And the very last screen, which you must see, is the teachers who actually learn a little bit of English.
Very, very old, baby.
That was incredible. Is that Dree Ra? Oh, I need to practice. Okay. Now on the other podium, we're going to hear from Lee Zhu and Michael Behan from Dartmouth College. They're here from the Jones Media Center, and they're going to be telling us about how they develop and produce the medias that they use to help the patrons in their center. And they should probably start talking any second now.
Sure, we'll be happy to. I'm Michael Behan. I'm the director of the Jones Media Center at Dartmouth. It's a multimedia center in the library. And Julie has been with us for the past year as an intern. We're fortunate to be able to have a paid 1-year internship that changes every year. and Julie's been filling that position for the past year. I think we're going to be ready to go here momentarily. There we go. Julie, you've been at Dartmouth for the past year as both an intern and as a graduate student. I just wonder what kind of comments you've been hearing from our patrons about the center.
Well, it's not the first time I hear them saying it's surprising that you have such great facility and services. I thought we could borrow DVDs for free. And some even don't know what a media center is, and there is a media center on campus. I totally share your feelings, because before I come to work at Jones, my only knowledge about a media center is you can use Photoshop and scanners for free.
You know, I'm really surprised with all the marketing we've done, that people still don't know what we do. You know, what else could we be doing?
Well, I've been thinking, since we are a media center, should we be using media to reach out patrons and making information available where and when it needed? So I put together something I would like you to watch. Maybe this will help.
Wow, that's amazing. I think this will help, help our patrons learn, more about what we do.
Well, not only about this promo video, I also put together a series of instruction videos to show patrons how to borrow equipment from us and get help with their media projects, and also some tutorial videos for using equipment and video recorded at our workshops for their future preference. Can I show a little bit of instruction videos a little bit?
Sure. Okay. Please. That's really excellent, Julie. We also have this problem of our staff getting burned out from answering the same questions over and over again. Like, how do we get started on our media project? I think these videos will help free up our staff time and also motivate our students to become much more self-reliant.
And also, we keep all these videos short. Our promo and instruction videos are no longer than 1 minute and 30 seconds. Even with the tutorial videos, you can learn how to operate HD video camera in 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's fabulous. This tutorial video really looks crisp and sharp.
Well, right. But there's another added benefit of making these videos. I got to use a new HD video camera and work with Final Cut, iLife 09, and Photoshop, you name it. These programs are the most popular programs our patrons use all the time. So I used them, made a mistake, and learned. I will know the answers to their questions, which makes on-location consulting a lot easier.
This has really proven to be a very efficient way to provide professional training. But now that we have all these videos, how do we get them out to our students where they can see them?
That's not a problem. I put them up to the Jones Media Center website and then uploaded them to the new Dartmouth YouTube channel and also embedded them to the library Facebook page. Students are so used to getting information from those places. The Media Center should not let them down.
Hey, we're not done yet. One last thing, Julie. Can't we use this project to recruit our next intern?
Well, I forgot one thing in the big headline says, get paid to present NMC in Monterey Bay, California.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, and come see us at Dartmouth.
That was great. I think I want to be an intern. That sounds like fun.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, I could tell. Next up, we have Kate Borowski from Hamline University. You remember Toast on a Stick? It's got nothing to do with this, but she's going to tell us about Library on a Stick and on the Air. about 2 different programs that they've done to reach out to their MFA students. And she'll be starting in just about a few seconds. There you go.
The stick. It's not just for food. I didn't think of toast on a stick. Okay, so that's the end of the commercial. I'm a librarian. I work at Hamline University. I work with the MFA students who write in writing for children and young adults. It's a low residency program. They come to campus twice a year in the coldest month in Minnesota and in the hottest month in Minnesota. I do meet with them, the new students, to give them an introduction to using the library while they're on campus, but I also talk to them about using the resources from off campus. More than 50% of them are from outstate. There was a need and actually even a desire for more information on how to use the tools, both for their creative work and for their academic work. So I used a 3-pronged approach, created a toolbar, created online workshops, and recorded the workshops. Let me show you the first one is the toolbar. And what I did is just the resources that they most frequently use, I put all up on a page. The advantage of this, if any of you have downloaded toolbars, that you don't have to go into the database and then go forward, and then go back, and then change databases and go forward, and then go back. You can see the toolbar in action up there. I could link to databases. I could link to our library catalog, to the local catalog, to the state system, to the WorldCat. I can take them to specific ebooks as well. That's one of coming up, so they can actually use encyclopedias. Literary criticism, background information. I wanted something just for their creative work as well, so this is a combination of websites and also databases. One of my favorites is the Food Timeline, Pronto Pups, 1942. I also took them, I wanted them to have an awareness of some of the journal literature that was out there, so they can actually look at these all online and become familiar with those. And if that wasn't enough, they can just click and go on the icon and go back to our homepage to get to the rest of our databases if that wasn't enough. And I wanted to show you, I've been making toolbars using Conduit for a number of years, and just wanted to show you how easy it is to do that. You just watch the toolbar about a third of the way down. You see the toolbar, you can just go in and edit. We have a new catalog, so I went in and changed the old catalog to ClickNet Classic. And so I just edited the title. Then I'm going to add the new link for ClickNet Encore. And then from there, I'm going to move it up. I just move it up in the menu so that becomes more prominent. And one of the other cool things is I can actually send messages. It feels real Big Brother, but I can send them messages on the toolbar that they can retrieve about new tools or new messages or things. So that I can point things out to them. And it's updated instantaneously in real time. That's actually relatively new. And then it creates an attractive download page that you can link to. That was the first prong, was the stick. The second prong was the series of 4 online workshops. I played around with the workshops. They don't have time in their schedule to really do much more in the library, so I wanted to do an online one using Illuminate Live. And I ended up designing the content around the toolbar. After a while, one database starts looking like another, so I wanted to actually show them exactly that and attach it to there. This is the screenshot from Illuminate Live. There's 3 main windows. That's sort of Control Central. You can, it has really nice features. It's nice and intuitive. They can raise their hands. You can call on them. You can give them the mic. You can take away the mic. You can conduct polls. You can give them whiteboard privileges. You can take away whiteboard privileges. There's a chat area, and actually, if you look at the bottom, my favorite part is that you can create breakout rooms as well, or you can send them to their rooms. This is the main part. You can use your PowerPoint. What I did, though, is I used something called Web Tour. And for someone who I just like to show them how to use these resources, this is another ebook. I can show them how to search it. They can see everything I do. This is a database. I can show them the search. I can show how it can go wrong. I can get myself out of it. They can see everything. And I can show them the toolbar in action. Prong 3 was to record the sessions. First, you have to remember to record them, which I did not do for 2 of them. And it provides point of need instruction for any time. You can also, you can't edit and Illuminate, but you can create chunks with either Captivate or Camtasia. And I want to just show you, if I can find my mouse. I'm going to talk over this. This is the end of one of the sessions, and just kind of watch the three main areas. At the end, I was asking them what their favorite things were, and I asked them to use the whiteboard. First of all, I want to emphasize these were adult students in the humanities. Okay.
Good sport. Good job. Good job. You really should be brave and go for the gong, but thanks, Kate. I didn't know you could. Learning how to build a toolbar, that's a really cool tool. So, at the 5 Minutes of Fame, we really like to encourage people who have never done it before. So we have a real green rookie. Can you believe in all these years that we've never had Larry Johnson do a 5 Minutes of Fame? So we're going to test his timing and his presentation skills. And Larry's going to be talking about the NMC's Hakone project, New Life for Second Life.
Not true, Alan. I have done 5 Minutes of Fame 3 times before. In 1996, 1998, and 1999. But it has been 10 years, and as I thought about, how would I present this little project, this is a project that typically there wouldn't be a place for us to talk about. So this is it. And what I wanted to do was to put a little context on it. And I found this morning, actually, with great joy, the newspaper article from The Independent in the UK that described a forum in Japan that was held in July of 1992. That forum was hosted by Apple Computer, and it is where the NMC was born. So Hakone is where we were born. Let me read a little bit of this. Monday, 24 August 1992, they actually would put people on airplanes and fly them to Japan. Then they would write the story on the way home, and it would be filed a couple of weeks later. So here's the story. It starts, which is hard to imagine today. At the end of last month, in the beautiful Japanese hill resort of Hakone, more than 100 senior executives from some of the most powerful entertainment and technology companies gathered to talk about new media opportunities and technological convergence. The event, organized by Apple Computer, generated little coverage. The organizers wanted a full and frank exchange of views, so the press was excluded. A little frustrating for the writer of this article, who flew thousands of miles. But they gathered senior representatives of companies such as Microsoft, Apple, IBM. They mixed them with electronic companies like Sony, Matsushita, Sharp, and Toshiba, giant information and entertainment companies like Time Warner, Viacom, MTV, News Corp, Turner Broadcasting, and Paramount, sprinkled in a little Kodak and Hasbro, National Semiconductor, some think tanks, and some multimedia producers, and you end up with a fairly heady mix, is what they were thinking. The reason for the gathering was straightforward. For decades, companies have been talking about convergence. Let me tell you a little bit about what they were talking about. The most talked about thing was the joining together of the telephone and the computer. The world's largest computer company, IBM, in fact, bought a major telephone company, Rome. Others followed the same. So, looking at, there's a third dimension, delivery. There are already avenues of telephone, television, cable, CD, computer disk, and satellite, but they're predicting that many others would emerge, leaving, some interesting kinds of things. So why is Apple there? Well, they were wanting to bring together some of the technologies they had. So let's see here. I'm skipping down. Apple announced at the meeting that the next year it would launch a device to be called the Newton. It was going to be made by Sharp. It was going to be the size of a paperback book. I remember when Apple would come and pass them out at the NMC conferences when we were at Cal Poly. They did that. That was kind of fun. And then they talked about the convergence of things around television and interactive media. Images, video, text, and sound would one day be all read off compact discs. So, that was the Hakone Forum. And when John Scully came back from this amazingly beautiful place, here's a picture of part of it, and show you some others as well. Here's a view of it that actually was printed on a famous phone card in Japan. So this is the setting where the NMC was born. we got ready to build a new home for the NMC series of online conferences, we thought, why don't we honor that heritage and build the project to be like that? And so let me just back up a little bit, and you can see in the image on the top is the virtual version. We didn't quite nail Mount Fuji, but the next generation. And the pictures all around it are pictures of our project. Let's see, I've got 21 seconds, so I will show you what it looks like. I can get there quickly enough. You always think that it's going to be a long time, 5 minutes. So in 8 seconds, here we are in Hakone. I was going to fly over and see Chris and Beth, who are over in the downtown area. And John's timer is not as good as mine. Thank you.
All right. There's a lot more to learn about Hakone, so talk to Larry later about that. Next up, next on over here, we have from UMBC, Paul Iwancio, Aaron Wydell, William Shoebridge from University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They've done a lot of things with digital storytelling at NMC conferences over the year, and they're going to be sharing how at some of their large events they've been using technology to capture those experiences using story booths. So take it away, UMBC.
Okay, I'm Bill, this is Paul, and this is Aaron. As Alan mentioned, we've done a lot of work with digital stories in the past, and that word has sort of gotten around the campus. So we were, a couple years ago, presented with a unique challenge. This was actually last April. There was a meeting and symposium and celebration in commemoration of the Meyerhoff Scholars Program's 20th anniversary. The Meyerhoff Scholars Program was founded at UMBC to encourage underrepresented groups in the sciences and technologies to pursue advanced degrees. And they were having this event. They were bringing 800 alums back to Baltimore, and they wanted to capture, they presented it to me as that, why don't you get 800 digital stories in 2 days? So, no problem. Well, so after managing expectations a little bit, we came up with the concept of the story booth, which we'll talk about today. Essentially, we were successful in the 2-day event in capturing 60 stories. Which are available online. And just as you can imagine, in those 2 days with everything going around the symposium, it was fast and furious, just like 5 minutes of fame. And I'll just let Paul and Aaron demonstrate the process for you.
Working in downtown New York City, Maryland School of Medicine. At the University of Michigan. I'm in my third year.
My name is Chad Tucker. I'm 13.
My experience
Yes, it's really how many interviews we did. I think it was about 50 interviews. So it was 60 over 2 days. And there were other things going on at the same time that we were also shooting. So it was a logistic craziness going on. So to tell you about how you manage that is, one of the things was the location. We actually scouted the locations ahead of time, which helped, but we had to also deal with whatever they gave us. That was a classroom. That would be one instance. Well, one case, we had a coat closet that they gave us, and so we just had to deal with that, and if you ever do it, try to scout out and see if you negotiate the best, quietest locations that you can. But then we brought our own lights. We actually, talking about the gear, and you have to be flexible, So talking about the gear, we went out and bought this backdrop from this theatrical supply company, and that became, the standard backdrop for all the folks, no matter what location we were at. And you may think about that. It seems a simple idea, but don't forget to get it and check it out, and be prepared that it could go wrong too, which it broke on us at one point. And then the interview process, we also had to we scheduled the interviews so people could sign up. There was a sign-up sheet. They could come in and sign up for it. And then who was going to do the interview? Well, we had the undergraduates in the Meyerhoff program do the interviews. So it was a cool thing for them to hear from these alumni of what they went on to do. And so it was this teaching thing that was going on too between the two groups, the undergrads and the alumni. And it also was a safe space, so we made them feel comfortable. We had a set list of questions. Sometimes, though, these undergrads in the Meyerhoff program are just so dedicated to going to class that sometimes we couldn't get any of them to come and do the interviews. They're in class. They wouldn't cut class, not these guys. So we actually had the interviewees interview each other. We put 2 or 3. You might have seen that, we put 2 or 3 up there and let them interview each other. And that made them feel very comfortable, and it worked. So I'm going to have Aaron talk a little about distribution.
Okay, so we decided we needed a way of distributing these wonderful stories. So we decided it was time to rebuild the Meyerhoff website. So we have the videos sort of scattered throughout the site, as well as in a central gallery of videos. We also produced a DVD and distributed thousands of copies. It's been used as a marketing tool, and we also uploaded it up to YouTube, so you can watch them there.
Okay. Okay. And future projects. Oh, no future.
So close. Can you believe how close they were to finishing? Thank you from UMBC. And now, probably in the most bravest demonstration I've ever seen at 5 Minutes of Fame, Morgan Reed from University of British Columbia is going to be doing a demonstration of talking to our computers, transcribing interviews at 2 to 1.
I've been warned by seasoned professionals that what I'm about to attempt is completely insane. Even Jared Bendis called me crazy. This will be a little bit quick. It really came up working on my thesis, but also seeing other people with similar work needing to transcribe qualitative audio data. You know those terrible little microcassettes? So digital recordings to start with. So I had a whack of them, and I needed to get those things transcribed into text for qualitative data analysis. I didn't want to use audio tape. I've tried it. It was bad. So I looked at a couple of other options to see if I could use a transcription service. Oh, okay.
There you go. You're on, man.
I could just go quick. So I'm going to keep talking until it goes on screen. And I didn't want to use, so you saw this part, right? Testing voice to text. So there's this need that I had. I needed for my thesis. I didn't want to use tape. I tried transcription services, too expensive, lots of money for the amount of data that I had. So I thought I'd see. If you have a chance, look this YouTube video up. There's a 2006 Microsoft video that crashed and burned. It was huge. It was funny. Could happen to me right now. So you need good quality recordings. Do not skimp on recordings. If you have a good recording, throw a microphone on that or whatever you're using. Clean recording, no motor noise. It's got to be perfect. That's not too hard to do these days. Live feed doesn't work, by the way. I'm not talking about getting your interview subject to talk to. I'm talking about having the interview subject do a recording with you like normal, and then later you revoice it. So simultaneous translation is basically like I'm talking into a voice recording, voice recognition software. We'll do a live demonstration in just a moment. Looking at the two versions, one that was actually live feed during the interview didn't work, even though I had trained the interview subject, versus the one that I revoiced, 99% accuracy or better, no spelling mistakes, because if it does get it wrong, very rare, it won't misspell it, it'll just give you the wrong word, often wrong but never in doubt. So I did a little word comparison to see how the data looked, and really using the software that I used, it looks like this. This is me using Mac Speech Dictate, and I thought it might be interesting if we actually had a chance to see this in action. Wouldn't that be worthwhile? Would you like to see this in action? Maybe it would be even more fun if I could somehow find a volunteer from the audience. Let's if I could find a volunteer from the audience. You, sir, you look like a likely candidate. Please come on up here. Just this way, right over this way, please. What's your name? What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Chris, nice to see you, Chris. Give Chris a big hand here. Have we ever met before, Chris?
I don't believe we have.
We haven't ever met
Checks
before.
in the post, though, isn't it?
It's checks in the post. It's coming up. So I've asked Chris to use a conventional method. And he has an audio recording. And don't start until... Wait, just give me a break here. I got a show to do. So I've asked Chris, could you kindly be ready to play back and type? All you need to do is push that play button when I say go, and then type. Everything ready?
I think I'm ready.
No, I think your audio's not plugged in. That would be really, really low of me to do that. Is that your headphone?
Yep.
That's your headphone. Wow, okay. I see, I'm on your side here, Chris.
I don't believe that for a minute.
All right, now, when I say go. So my contention is, my claim, my prayer, is that using this tool will save me time. So I've tried it out a little bit. Can you see me? Okay, you can go away. And I didn't say go. He's going already. Okay. So I'm going to just see if I can get this going, and we're going to go head to head. Oh yeah, I have to listen. Good headphones really help. It's this bit of the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? He's already started. Let's just see how it goes.
What a hand.
This is a big moment for me. I was flying, I don't know where I was flying. I sat next to a kid who was taking advantage of the Wi-Fi in the airplane, period. What was interesting is that he was playing Call of Duty, period. I don't know, have you ever seen that game? If you haven't, that's okay. It's the first time I'd seen it too, period. I asked the young man to explain it to me, period. It took him like a half hour to do it. It involves all these networks.
Who's doing it?
Thank you so much, Christopher.
Now, was that brave or what?
Did you
That was sheer
actually get to see it?
bravery.
That was great. All right,
So last
let's
and
get you
certainly
on
not
here.
least,
And I'll get you set up.
we have someone who presents at every 5 minutes of fame since the beginning of time, who knows the rules, how to title his presentation so he gets to go last in the series.
Not after
Jared
this.
Bendis from Case Western Reserve University is here to talk to us about teaching the elephant to walk itself, self-generating pachyderms. Jared's going to show us how he's using a database to generate pachyderms on the fly as soon as PowerPoint deals with its particular issues. So, Jared, how's the weather in Cleveland these days?
I don't know. I'm not there right now.
We will certainly...
Jared, what are you, crazy? This is dangerous.
This is
you know what's
dangerous.
dangerous is
PowerPoint.
following him. So, hey there. How you everybody doing? Out of question, how many of you have never used pachyderm before? Okay. How many of you have never heard of pachyderm before? Okay, well, this will be interesting then. Get rid of that. I know what I'm doing. Stop that.
You're on.
Don't save that. What are you doing? Did you break my entire presentation? Why are there only 4 slides here? I am braver than this. Hi, my name's Jared Bendis. I'm creative director of new media at Case Western Reserve University. I'm also presenting with Tom Hayes, who isn't here but might be watching this at some point and is actually my boss. And he regrets his name is on this because it was his idea, sort of, and I'll get to that. Anyway, Digital Case is my boss's, well, he's the project director, no, he's the program director, or he's the content director. But anyway, it's his baby. And one of the things about Digital Case is it is a digital library. And how many of you have digital libraries? It's an archive. And what the archive contains collections. It contains collections of intellectual output of the institution, which includes research and historical library materials, which actually is the fun stuff because we've got fun historical library materials. Interestingly enough, it's also meant to do dissemination, but it has almost no user interface. This is actually a common problem if you have archives. It stores the data, but you can't get it out. So our tech people say this is not a bug, that it's a feature. They said we promised we'd store it. We didn't say it. You're supposed to develop the interfaces yourself, they tell us. So I said, all right, I've got a solution. They said, Jared, what are we going to do? And I said, I know what we'll do. We will consult the Wheel of New Media Solutions. Thank God, I know this one. All right. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Pachyderm, it is a server-based learning objects authoring tool. It makes cool multimedia. Step 1, log into your account. Get one if you don't have one. Step 2, upload your assets. It's server-based. Author your screens and publish. Voila. That's the process. It's fun. It's great. It's powerful. And that's a good start, but if you're more advanced, some people have customized their installs, and of course, they've integrated their existing database of assets into Pachyderm so that when they go to author, they actually go, I want that, and I want that, I want that. Okay, that's great, and that's wonderful, especially if you're a museum. However, that isn't what they wanted. What they wanted was not to have to author at all. So, to take it further, let's go like this. Don't use Pachyderm as an authoring environment, but instead use Pachyderm as a output standard. Take a look at Pachyderm as a data standard. I know this is conceptual, sorry. Anyway, so in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to query a database, my database, any database. I've custom written this so you don't get to see the real live stuff. We're going to query a database, and the results are going to be JPEGs, XML, and Pachyderm flash files, so that it's automatically built. And what we're going to do is build design rules instead of authoring. So we say design rules, design rules, database, give me the Pachyderm. I don't have to think about anything. So authorship is really in the curation of the collection. Making a good database makes a good thing. So in our example, we're going to take the list of items, which is going to be for phone. We're going to use phone dial screens. Then we're going to take the information and put those in enlargement screens, and we're going to put the details inside of zoom screens. Disclaimer, I'm using a couple things. Number one is, this is fun, this is quick, this is dirty. Also, I'm using beta Pachyderm 2.1 stuff, so keep your eyes open. Next, let's do a little demo. For my demo, which is right here, I'm using a little series of images called Great Works of Art at Bosch, which is in the back of someone's head. So, we come over here and look at our first 10 images. I've been working on this collection, folks. All right, so let's take a look over here, and let's see. Here's a guy at D'Orsay. And does anyone know what the painting is? Because for the details, it's a Caucasian male with a hint of a bald spot, short white hair, wearing a collared long sleeve. You have to annotate your data, folks. It's very important. Anyway, so here is this thing, and of course I can come, and if I want to look even closer, I can then go to a zoom screen. What's important for you to realize is there is no asset database. There is no uploading to Pachyderm. This is all generated by something else, and it was rules-based. There was no design here except for the design of the rules. It was all automatically generated. Anyway, going back over to our PowerPoint, let me say what's next? Oh, I hope a whole lot of things. First of all, we'd like to design new rule systems to be able to play with the database. And more importantly, I'd like to thank you, and please join my Mob Wars Mob on Facebook. Thank you.
He does it every year. He just gets us rolling. Thank you, Jared. Let's give another hand for all of our 5 Minutes of Fame presenters. Woo! I think we seriously wore out our conference bloggers. I don't know how they were keeping up with this. We'd like to invite all of our presenters up on stage so we can get a photo. Each of them is going to get a mini gong. So if you're there in the audience and say, I want a gong, next year, that's pretty powerful. You can have your own gong at home.